Good morning. This is KJV of the Ministry of Uncovering No More. I need to read Revelation chapter 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto her, or him, we are worldwide, those who burn incense and have censers, much incense, that they should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. We are ever before the throne. Our altar is golden. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire, for certainly I am Aries, the voice of fire, of the altar, and cast it into the earth, and there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burned up, and all green grass was burned up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound. You see, I have been carried by the eagles, which is a blog article on uncoverednomore.blog, as an angel with fire in my hands, to the room of silence of Revelation 8:1, witnessing him having opened the seal. It is time for me to do another 50-state walk. Indeed, I have already found a spell in my Book of Runes by Ralph H. Bloom. I'm going to use the Midnight Spell from my Earth, Air, Fire, and Water book consistently. That is by Scott Cunningham. And I also use the candle colors that he has directed. And there is a general rite of preparation that I have done more than once. It is a pleasure. It is a privilege. It has been a burden that I consider now a privilege, which means you need to understand that my witnesses who hate me and then love me, who were not able to agree with me to turn the narrative to the king's necessity of Revelation 8:1. I always feel very insecure, very unloved, very unacceptable in the presence of the people. I always feel that way. There's no changing it. All I have to do now is stay in the room of silence of Revelation 8:1 and witness the seventh seal having been opened. It is my business, certainly, when the other angels release what they will release. However, if you don't understand that there is a movement that is very great, which talks about the damage being done to the earth and how we as the people have a responsibility to change that for the earth and his inhabitants, you will never understand Revelation chapter 8. But I understand when the man has opened the seventh seal. And I'm calling it. And I'm putting my affairs in order. UncoveredNoMore.blog has been castrated. Only certain things are going there. So the other blogs will be honored with more of my time. This particular reading of the Word of God, King James Version, that has been ours as this family for over 35 years. Well, it's over 34 years now. Will be read on different websites, but never again on UncoveredNoMore.blog, unless I'm mistaken, and I may be. My times are in his hands is very real to me, as you cannot imagine. I have a blog that a Wiccan book is going on eventually, and that 3 specific chapters of Paganism by Joyce and River Higginbotham is going on. I will mix what I was going to do on UncoveredNoMore.blog into that blog. It is very clear to me, if it isn't clear to anybody else, that there's a tremendous amount of righteous rage in the house of Judah. That's what JudahProvision.wordpress.com is about. I have settled my affairs as Archangel Terra, evolved to Enoptera, which has an authority of from the 7th of Adam, so to speak. And then there's Gaia-Tera, who gets messages from trees, bunnies, kitties, puppies, the earth, and all that is within her. No human understands my message. No human understands my message. But the more money and power they have, the less they understand. In my universes and his universes, that much is obvious in America today. I suppose I am one of those that is the mystery, but I speak of Christ in the church, the Apostle Paul said. what I see as the church and what the Protestant and Catholic paradigm sees as the church is two different things. I'm sad. I was writing some bang-up good articles. I will give you a hint of what's going to have to be written. Verse 12 of chapter 8. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon. That's Judah's king and I, a moon goddess, a very clear moon goddess. It's even in my astrology chart. Because I was born at a certain time, and it was a moon sign, and this is accurate all the way to the child that my sun sign, the child's birthday that my sun sign is within, and that happens to be the only child who knows me privately, because they have chosen to spend time with me privately. So that child can know that your astrological sign, your horoscope sign, whatever you want to call it, you were deeply formed in my life to actually be the one person that I knew all these years who would accept the king and I privately. I already have your archangel name. All 10 of my children, I have a book. And your names came forth, and there is no wickedness in this place. This is KJV of the Ministry of Uncovered